What's up to all my freelancers, designers, and creators? This is Nathan. Welcome to another episode of Freelance Jumpstart. And to be honest, things feel a little on edge right now. The world seems to be in a state of panic, but also just caution because the different things that are going on are a huge health risk, but also it might even be a risk to our economy. But what can you do right now as a creative professional, and what should you be doing? That's what we're going to get into in this episode. So the first thing I'll say is definitely just exercise caution during this time and utilize wisdom. You don't want to place yourself in a compromising situation unnecessarily. But that being said, you also don't want fear to dominate your life and your business. You don't want fear to control everything that you can do. That being said, what can you do and what can you control? About 10 years ago, the US economy was a little bit in a state of panic. The housing market was crashing and really we were headed for a recession. Now what a recession means is perhaps the employment rate will go down, less people are going to spend money, stock market is going to go down in terms of points lost, which translates to people losing money, maybe closing down businesses, and overall, people just not willing to invest in things they feel are unnecessary. This also meant that if you're a business owner, there will probably not be as much money in the economy to go around, and you're at risk to lose funds or maybe even have damaging results in your business. Also during this time when the US was in a recession, this is when I graduated from college. I graduated from my university with an applied mathematics and electrical engineering degree, and to be honest, I was excited to finally put into practice everything that I've learned. I had been in my program for about 5 years and I was tired of homework and studying for tests and all the all-nighters. I was like, finally, I'm done with school. Now I can join the real world. However, to my disappointment, as I put myself out there, I had a great resume, I had a great internship, but even though I put myself out there and I applied different jobs, nothing was really moving for me. And I started getting frustrated about this. I didn't stop my job search, but I kept moving and pushing forward. But there are a lot of things that weren't in my control, but I just focused on continually putting myself out there and applying to different jobs. Things were very slow in trying to find a job during the recession. So during that time, I'd also been learning, a little bit of web design. So I started teaching myself, seeing what I could find. And I started teaching myself that. One of my friends knew I was learning about web design. So they approached me and said, Nathan, there's this web hosting company. And since you're learning how to build websites, it might be a good fit for you. I applied to that job. I secured the job and I finally got a job in the recession. Now I will admit, I was not getting paid exactly what I wanted to. But that gave birth to something else. Because I was working and student loans were still due and they didn't care that it was a recession, this really had me thinking, how can I get alternative income? This gave birth to me learning web design at night. So I'd go to work during the day, learn web design at night. That gave birth to me starting my own business, learning web design, and just continually growing my skills, learning web design, digital marketing, even getting to the point to where I am today and how I'm talking to you today. I say all this just to say this was a story that happened in my past, but even though there was a lot of tragedy going on and disappointment going on, I still found a way to do something that was hugely beneficial in the future. So right now, I get it. There are a lot of warnings, there's a lot of caution. Social distancing is being stressed. Don't go around large crowds. Stay to yourself, stay at home, right? A lot of those things are being said, but just because you're at home, that doesn't mean you need to sit there and do nothing. This is a huge opportunity to do some of those things that you've been procrastinating about, some of those things that you've been pushing to the side, some of those things that you've needed to do in your business, or maybe you had a side project you wanted to do. You need to do it, but you didn't have the time, or you just never could sit down in one place to get it done, or you maybe had family going on or different things to watch. But now, maybe you have more time to do that than you used to. I say all that just to say, I believe there's 2 questions you can really ask yourself right now that will really guide you to how you can most efficiently and more effectively use your time during this crisis. The first question I'll ask is, what are some things in your business that you've been neglecting? Now, I know me personally, there's tons of side projects I want to work on. There's an actual book that I've written that I have not edited, which is related to things that are in my business. There's certain people I want to connect with and maybe interview for my podcast. Chances are they're probably at home too. So for me, there are many things in my business that I've known about, I've thought about, but they've been on the side. I've been neglecting them. I haven't given them its full time. Even in my own business, there's been tons of things that I want to change and restructure and even rewrite some things that are a part of my contract, but I just haven't had the time to do it. All that being said, now I have more time than I normally do. It's time for me to address those things that I've been neglecting. So again, what have you been neglecting in your business? And now is the time to utilize your time wisely to address those things that you've been ignoring for some time or even been procrastinating about. So the second question that I would ask is, what will you do when the panic is over? Now, this question is specifically focused on thinking in the long term. Now, in the short term, yes, as I mentioned earlier, err on the side of caution. Don't take unnecessary risk. Do what's safe for you and your family. So yes, that is one thing. However, when all this passes, which we don't know when it will pass, it could be months, it could be, half a year. We're not 100% sure. But all that being said, what will you do when the mass hysteria is over? I ask this question because when this is all over and the economy starts to recover, that will be the time where you need to move. That will be the time where you need to take action. And the reason I'm saying that is, when that time comes, will things that you've needed to do still be left undone? I told the story about me graduating during the recession earlier because it gave birth to me learning web design and then learning all these other skills and getting to the point to where I am today. Now could be something similar for you. Now could be the time for you to focus on something, learn a new skill that you don't have, and apply that skill and maybe even give new birth to an alternative way to get income, a way to start a new business, write a book, whatever it might be. Now might be the time to enhance and lean in on those things right now so that in the future, you'll know, it was a dire situation, but I used my time wisely. And now because I invested that time wisely, I'm reaping the benefits of it today. So again, just to sum things up, those are the two questions you really need to think about. What have you been neglecting in your business that if you have more time to use now, you can completely address it now? And you no longer have to procrastinate. Now is the time to focus on those things and really also get your mind on something else. And again, the second question, what will you do when the panic is over? So now we're on alert. However, when this is all past, what will you be able to do and how will you be able to go about doing it? Use this time to invest in yourself and invest in your business so that in the future, you'll be better off for the time that you invested. Thank you for taking the time to check out this video. I greatly appreciate it. If you like anything I had to say, give this video a thumbs up. And again, if you have any questions, or there's plenty of content that I have on my channel in which I've been teaching on how to build a better business. And I've been teaching on that for literally the last 4 years. So I have tons of content piled up. Now would be the time to go through it. Now would be the time to watch those videos, read those articles, and learn a new skill so that at least professionally, you can be better off as you protect yourself personally during this time. Well, until the next one, I will catch you later. See ya.